and you're like, I'm not a hoe, that this does not belong to me. But I'm telling you, if you log off right now, you're gonna miss the nuggets that are in this episode.
A call for attention. And you gotta know, what kind of hoe are you? What kind of hoe are they calling? To give not only them attention, but that you can give yourself attention. And I think that we use so many terms derogatively, and so many of them, I challenge them. Are you a classy hoe? Dignified hoe? Sophisticated hoe? Holy hoe? And some people just are ratchet hoes. If you're a dignified hoe, it don't change you being dignified. But show up in a dignified way.
I can't belittle myself because he chooses to belittle me.
I'd rather be knowing who I am and what kind of hoe I am. So when somebody calls for my attention, I know how to respond. Who am I as the woman? I am radical, relentless, and real because I am on a mission to heal the souls of God's people. I am a spiritual leader, a life coach, and an author. But most of all, I am a warrior, fighting for my legacy. I face so many challenges, shares of betrayal, rejection, abandonment, all that left me wounded mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Yes, life left me broke, busted, and disgusted. But despite all those odds, divorces, emotional damage, as well as despair, I did the work to heal my soul so that I may birth forth miracles and live prosperously. I am not new here. I grew here, and now is your time to grow. I am Dr. Dunamis D, and I am here to guide you on your journey of healing and transformation. Well, you all, here we are for another episode of the Healing for My Soul podcast. We're still in that vein, sexual healing for the woman in you. And I got some things for you because I got two dynamic women here. These are my daughters. When is the last time we've been on a show together?
Season 3?
For real?
Season 2? I think so.
Are you serious?
Maybe season 4. I don't know.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Where you been, Allison?
That's y'all fault. Y'all kicked me off.
I might kick you off. Here you are today. Come on through. You had to regain your momentum to come back for this topic that we're getting ready to talk about. What kind of hoe are you?
Yeah, I think last time she was on this, I think we did talk about this topic last time she was on, if I'm not mistaken.
Did we? We didn't go into it.
We didn't go into it in depth. No.
Yeah, because I know this is her talk show. This is her topic.
What? This is my topic.
But I mean, y'all probably weren't expecting the topic to be what kind of hoe are you? And I know originally you're probably listening to that and you're like, I'm not a hoe, that this does not belong to me. But I'm telling you, if you log off right now, you're gonna miss the nuggets that are in this episode because, I think if you want to talk about the history of how did this start?
Well, a lot of women, I don't even know the percentage, but it's up there, come to the Healing for My Soul challenges based upon this movement out of betrayal, really, really thinking less than themselves because somebody really stepped out. Fail to realize that they have not even discovered a part of them, which why the man wanted them in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But we get all kind of serious, then we start looking at the other person. So, I used to challenge them, just look at yourself. A hoe is not a bad thing. You know what I mean? We think a hoe, it does have a definition of a prostitute, you know what I mean? But a prostitute ain't just out there in the corner. I've been a free prostitute on so many occasions. But one of the things that I'm talking about is a call for attention. A call for attention. And you got to know, what kind of hoe are you? What kind of hoe are they calling? To give not only them attention, but that you can give yourself attention. And I think that we use so many terms derogatively. And so many of them, I challenge them. Are you a classy hoe? Dignified hoe? Sophisticated hoe? Holy hoe? And some people just are ratchet hoes. You know what I'm saying? They have no qualms about nothing. But, one of them I'm even thinking about, she was a beautiful woman, and she still is, and she was a school teacher, and she was having very many struggles. And I said, he called for attention because he wants the hoe, the very sophisticated hoe. Just because you're a teacher don't mean you ain't no hoe. But at school you're teaching, But at home, he wants that attention. He wants you to be free. He wants you to just come out of your shell and stop being all rigid and stuff like that. So that's where it came from. And so it's just been going on and on and on here at Dunamis Woman.
Well, I mean, I remember the first day you kind of enlightened me and Allison to the kind of hoe that we were.
That too.
I don't know how that happened, but
I don't believe in hoes. Girl. I don't think hoes exist. No, it to me, because what is a hoe? I mean, I look at it as freedom. If I'm gonna be a hoe, I'm gonna be a freedom hoe.
But that's what I just said, though.
I know, that's what I said.
I think we use things, and that's why don't you all get offended. Yeah. Don't turn this off, because we take certain terms and we lock our minds into it. And then you already you're free. You see what I'm saying? So it's not the fact that you don't believe in hoes. Hell, you are one. Yeah. You're free to be who you are. How many calls do you get for someone to get your attention? And for you to give them attention? You see what I'm saying? How many booty calls have you adhered to because they didn't want her, they wanted you? But you got to recognize, what kind of hoe are you? So even when I brought it to you all's attention, Ariel.
I was looking up the Urban Dictionary. But no, I think it is. It's a call for attention. Yeah. And you could, I'm just speaking from my experience, I earlier on didn't like when I was treated like a hoe. Like it was just like, I know I got a lot over my forehead, right? I got woman, I got wife, but I ain't never had whore over my forehead, right? So when a man like approached me or talked to me like as if I was just like this whore, this hoe, it was like, who do you think that I am, right? Like there's no way. And I remember I was like shocked when I was hanging out with some girlfriends and it was a guy in the midst, and I always like to appear this innocence, that I had. And the guy, we were just talking about sex, just young, and the guy was like, he was like, you look like you probably had a couple partners. I said, me? Me? I look like I had a couple partners? And he was like, yeah. I said, how many you think that I done had, right? And so he was like, probably like 12, 13. I mean, I lost it. I was like, he just took away my own virginity, right? And I put on this whole affect, like, as if I was innocent. And to be honest,
it's been more than 12. I know.
I was in college just doing whatever. I know. But the shame of no way you're going to see me is less than 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just, to me, it resonated. And I think earlier on, you had already said to me that I was like a bougie hoe. And you were like, Ariel, you're the bougie hoe. You're not going to just go to no, motel or whatever. You gonna be treated nicely. You're gonna make sure you had a nice, expensive, I'm probably just gonna do it in the backseat of the car. Now I'm not as dignified as I used to be back in the day. But, you were just like, oh, you're just a bougie hoe. And I was like, how am I a bougie hoe?
And your mama calling you that. But that's not a derogative thing. You know what I'm saying?
And now I don't see it as derogative.
I'd rather you be a bougie hoe than a stupid hoe.
But see, in that time of my life, kind of going at, like what Allison was saying, I didn't realize while I was carrying shame, I really didn't realize that really being in this way, what we're saying, a hoe is really a cry. It's a freedom. It's a freedom. It's a freedom of, I'm going to be free in my sexuality. I'm going to be free with different men. Now, how you use it and the mindset that you use it, but it does represent a time of my freedom. At that time, I was finding myself. I felt like I was suffocated. I felt like, I only knew one person, and I was like, I want to know me. I wanted to know different parts of me. Now, did I do it all out of a healthy, whole place? No, but I think it was such a pivotal part of my life that I will never take back or change for anybody, because that is me. I mean, I can't really shun away from it because it's me.
And you have to embrace who you are. And, it goes back to one of the episodes where we had or having about the femininity and the freak in me, whatever. Embrace yourself and stop lying to yourself. I don't think when I'm being called to give attention, because the man needs me. He don't just need sex, he needs me. He needs me to show up. But at the end of the day, I ain't coming with my clergy cloth on in the bed and playing Fred Hammond, blessed blessed. You know what I'm saying? You know, I ain't finna do that. You know what I'm saying? Be real with yourself. You all, I wrote an awesome, outstanding ebook called Value in the Vagina. And I want to admonish you to get it because you are a woman and every woman have a vagina. And now it's time for you to understand God's mind and creation. Go to healingformysoulpodcast.com and get a copy of your ebook today.
Yeah.
Be real with the woman in you and know how to show up when that person, the woman, is needing to be called, not just for sex, but want the essence of who you are. If you're a dignified hoe, it don't change you being dignified. But show up in a dignified way, but still give the attention that's not only needed and they're calling you for, because I would even ask them, what do you want with me?
Yeah, because you really don't have to.
What do you want with me? I don't have to respond to you.
Don't have to respond.
I'm talking about when I was single. I don't have to respond. Just because you call me, what do you want with me? Ask the question. What do you want with me? Because I understand what kind of hoe I am. You know, and I ain't just a flying hoe. I ain't finna go just fly all over the place and go here because you called or because you want something or whatever. You know, even when I've had some men marry another woman and rejected myself, and then you gonna call me. I ain't stupid. I ain't naive. I'm truly a classy hoe. I'm not gonna betray that woman. The hell with you. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna betray her for you because you made the decision that you wanted to make, but now you want the essence of who I am. Now you wanna call me for the attention that they can't give you because they don't even know who they are. You see what I'm saying? You better embrace the fact of whatever that adjective is, give it for yourself and learn more about who you are. Because we all got some of that in us that is being called for attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just not about sex either. You know?
I think it's also mindset, right?
Yeah.
And how you think about that. So I'm gonna ask, because I took what you did and I asked a whole bunch of women, what kind of hoe are you? And some of them were so offended. But I was like, it was just a good conversation. So we're gonna start off and I'm gonna tell you what some of these ladies said and you can elaborate. But Allison, what kind of hoe are you?
At this point in your life.
At this point in my life, I am more of I would say a freedom hoe. Like what we said earlier. Especially in this point in my life, I'm learning my sexuality. I'm learning who I am sexually, what I like. I'm teaching myself certain things I like, what I like, how I like to be treated. So I would say I'm an explorative hoe. I like to explore. But it kind of goes with freedom hoe. So yeah.
And everyone can't just get your attention.
Yeah.
Everyone just can't say, Allison, 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 all kind of men, all kind of Negroes, Allison, Allison, and you just respond to everything and everybody.
Yeah, no.
Now it gives you permission to stay who you are.
Yeah, and that's why I say I'm learning who I am. I'm learning the power that even I possess.
Yeah,
So that's why I said I'm an explorative hoe.
And in the past, you had said, because when I asked the ladies this, I gave them examples. And in the past, you had said you were a blessed hoe. And I don't know if you want to elaborate on what that meant for you.
I am a blessed hoe because when I think about the goodness of the Lord and what He has got me out of.
Yeah, come on now.
Good thing we didn't have cameras back then.
Right? And
that's why I said blessed at the time.
And I think that it speaks, like I said, to the mindset, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not even just about a derogative thing.
No.
It's even just in that phase or that period of your life. You know, if you to find some laughter in it and not some shame in it, but really sit back and look at how you were blessed in some areas because it could have been worse.
Yeah.
It could have been far off. You know, many
Mm-hmm.
women don't even come back home. Many women are snatched. You know, many women are trafficked. So I mean, really, we're no step away from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone had said when I interviewed, they said that they were a brave hoe. Brave. And I think that to me speaks to, you know, doing something that you just never thought that you would do.
Right.
You know, operating out of a place of bravery. And I think it was someone in Dunamis Woman who, I think she went on vacation and she was attracted to a man. And I think she was like, Mama D, I slept with him. Like, you know, it's like doing something brave. Like, I never thought I would do that. You know, I never have a Stella get your groove back moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And being, I think, with only one person, I think her whole life. So it was just doing an act of bravery to discover yourself and
the
to
woman
learn.
inside. Yeah. And not to even want to do it again, but I did it. You know what I'm saying? You know, did it. You know, I remember when I was really coming out and my healing was causing me to be aware of myself, and I was just evolving. It was like I was a cocoon, and I began to go through my metamorphosis process and become this butterfly. And I said, wow, what is it that I can do that I've never done before that's not going to cause me to ever be boxed in again? And I went on a nude beach. You know, and it really shifted my mindset, because we wasn't on there looking like, ooh, look what you got. Ooh, look what you got. Ooh. I really felt like I was in the Garden of Eden. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't focusing on genitals. We wasn't focusing on, ooh, look at your titties. You know what I'm saying? I want to get that. Everybody was just free. You know what I'm saying? So even at that point, you know, learning of myself and being that free and just walking around and eating and doing all this, and everybody is that way. You know, you can't change me, ho. You can't change me. You can't change me.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
can see that.
And people always try to change me, you know, make me what they want me to be, call me when they want me to call me, sleep with me because they want it. You know what I'm saying? And I did it at one point, and that was a naive hoe. You see what I'm saying? But now that I'm older now, I'm much wiser, learning about myself, certain things you just can't change me. And if you don't embrace who I am, get away from me. Matter of fact, I don't even get those calls. I don't get calls no more. I don't get attention like that anymore. Why? Because you can't change me, my freedom, my nature.
Yeah. It's funny while you were talking, I could imagine. Because, you know, men uses words derogatively, you know, where they may be like, you just a hoe, you know? And so really when we're saying it, I was thinking it's almost like taking your power back. Like the term that you would use to destroy me
is a very term.
You know, and I just heard you, I just envisioned you walking out the door of a man calling you a hoe, and you're like, you know, what kind of hoe you just said you were? Hey, so are you liking this episode? Matter of fact, are you like loving this episode? If so, then we want you to tell us. I need you to like this episode right now. I need you to drop a comment and tell us what you are enjoying about this episode. But most importantly, I need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? Do not miss a beat of what's happening in the Healing from My Soul podcast. So you know what to do. Like so we know that you love it. Comment down below and tell us what you love about it. And then subscribe so you're never missing the episode that you truly cannot live without. Now, let's get back to your episode.
You can't change me.
Yeah, I can just imagine you saying like, you're right. I'm like, you can't change me, huh? Like, just like really taking that, right? Someone else had said this, and I could see this for me, but a boss hoe.
Yeah, I can see that.
A boss hoe. And I think I saw that with you growing up, honestly. You would come in with your boss suit on, with your nice heels, with your hair cut and short. And I'm like, who does this woman think she is, you know? And all the boys in 8th grade, if I could just be with your mama, you know? And I'm like, ugh. But at the end of the day, you know, at that time, I don't know, maybe you were 35, because I was probably like 12 or something. But you were finding your sensuality and you were dating other people and all this different stuff. And I'm like, I'm seeing this boss in the streets, you know, and then you got your little candles, and I ain't like who you choose to be with sometimes and what I saw, but I'm like,
got in my drop top Mercedes and driving around, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm like, okay, but it was really like this boss power move type of thing, and I think I've kind of just embodied that even when I saw movies with like Gabrielle Union and all this different stuff, and I was like, okay, like I can see this, you got your stuff together.
Needed healing even more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Someone else had mentioned, they said they were a bold hoe, just really bold. And that could be shocking to some men. In a lot of ways, almost derogatory to some men's manhood. And I think that, you know, as we talk about healing and needing some healing in some areas, very dominant.
I was saying, it was funny, I was telling somebody how because I was addressing me as a bold hoe too. It was funny. I was telling them, I said how this one guy, he texted me out of nowhere and was like, "This Allison." I was like, "Yeah, who are you?" "I met you on a dating app and we had an experience." And I said, "We did?" And he was like, "Yeah, you don't remember?" I said, "No, I don't remember." He said, "Yeah, because all you told me was you just wanted some, in the previous episode, you just wanted some dick." I said, I said that? I apologize. That was rude of me. Did I just say I wanted some dick?
Right.
I said, well, obviously I got it if, you know, that's what I said. But like what you were saying, that's kind of demoralizing. And it was like sometimes, and some men will ask to be demoralized. But as my healing process is going, I was like, "Sir, you're worth more than just dick." Now, if I said that, I apologize. But
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. He was like, "All you said was you just wanted some dick." I was like, "I did."
Yeah. I mean, I never tapped into the bold, but this next one, I feel like I definitely was. And someone had mentioned being a balanced hoe. And I was definitely, I think that's still that perfect patty a little bit, but it was just like only one person per year, right? Like I was never want to be that person where it was like, I sleep with you this day, I sleep with someone else the next day, and then I don't know who the baby daddy, if I did get pregnant. So it was like definitely a balance, like, and I mean, this may be just me being a little overthinker, but it was just like one a month, if I am gonna be, but never, it was just like one person a year, right? Like I just, and I think that also came with after, you know, I think having my period or my time in college, like it was just, you didn't want to add what people say more notches to your belt. So in order to not add all these notches to your belt, you became more balanced, right?
Yeah.
Or, and I think even not just balance with the amount of people, I think balancing your lifestyle. I think as I've gotten older, I've learned, like we said in a previous episode or in another episode, my body at 35 is just different.
Of course, and wait till you get 45.
I mean, like when I'm in ovulation season, I'm like, oh my God, like even the garbage man can get it. I don't care. You know, like my ovaries are just like, what's happening? And so balance to me is not just also around who I'm with and how many I'm with, but it's also having a balanced lifestyle to recognize that as a woman, you do need to be touch, you do need to be tended to, you do need, your body is telling you that you need this, right? And you can't deprive yourself, but obviously be wise and not just give that to anyone, but it just let me know like you need a healthy balance, right? You can't just work and put all the stress and you don't release and you don't have that out, you know, in life. So it's just, you know, knowing you're still human.
And that's why I really embrace the definition call for attention, because it's not even about sex. It's about who is calling you for your time, your advice. You know, they can't value you, but at the end of the day, they want your wisdom. You know what I'm saying? They want your knowledge. They want to, can I just talk to you about this or whatever, you know, but you out there with ratchet holes, you know what I'm saying? But now you want to come to a classy one, you know, to get some wisdom or knowledge or conversation about a certain topic or matter. You know what I mean? And so that goes back to the bold one. I was like, that's not what I'm for. You know what I'm saying? I think my thoughts, my wisdom, even what God has gifted me is more valuable than what you could ever get from me from sex.
Yeah.
It's more valuable.
Yeah.
And I just can't give that to no anyone. I can't give my voice to anyone. I can't give my thoughts to anyone. They have meaning for my life. You know what I'm saying? And that goes now to what I was just saying. You just can't change me. I'm not that one no more.
And that's another one that someone had said. They said, I've been a been there, done that hoe.
Yeah, been there, done that.
I'm not, you're not taking me back.
And I think that's a part of our growth and development. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
But everybody started off as a naive one. You know, everybody started off doing some stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm older, I'm wiser, been there, done that. But it don't change the fact that I understand you can call for my attention. But who am I giving that to? Who am I channeling that to? I'm channeling to that person who I have decided to be with. I have decided to now to come into my space of who I am and all that I have acquired and learned about me. And when I say acquired, I'm not talking about tangible things. I am my own acquisition. Do you know how much I've been through to purchase myself back? Besides God's blood and his redemption power, you know what I'm saying? I had to talk to myself and say, get your stuff together. You know, you're more than what somebody think that you are. Think this about yourself, you know. But yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing. And I believe that we need to really understand that and stop taking certain terminologies and dismissing it, yet you're still being it.
What?
What you looking at?
She just points to me like, what? I mean, no, it. What you were saying is very true. Even I'm learning now. When you said the other hoe, I just thought qualitative hoe. And I'm learning now about taking my power back. You know, as much as I invested. And I think about these young girls, or even some girls now, you know, hell, my integrity wise of it, I just ain't gonna make no money off of it. But hell, I thought about it like, shoot, I can make some money off of it. But when I understand who I'm giving myself to mentally, and even, it was at one point, you know, this guy, like you said, I was talking to, and he's married. And sir, you married her. Go to your wife.
Correct.
Ask your wife what you should do. Ask your wife how you should handle this. Tell your wife about your day. Tell your wife you had a good day. Ask your wife what you should eat for dinner. Ask your wife, can I get some pussy tonight? Call your wife. Don't call. And then every time when I say that, he always, why you always tell me to call my wife? Why you always do this?
But can you imagine if every woman did that? Where would this world be? That's a wise hoe. And that is.
That's when my one gray hair comes from.
Right, that's your one gray hair. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it does my heart good to know that even from a mother's perspective, that you are developing into understanding that about yourself, that you can stand up in who you are and redirect them back to whatever kind of hoe they married. You know, and that's a beautiful thing. You know, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, because I think one, you know, and while we're talking about sexual healing for the woman in you, and it was a period of I think of many women's life, but one of the hoes, you know, that was mentioned on here was belittled. Hey, I know you're enjoying watching this episode from your home and maybe from your car, maybe you're at work watching this, but let me tell you the power of going from online to being in the room. I want to invite you to our Healing from My Soul Live 2-day event where women all across the globe come together to experience a healing in the depths of their soul. It is literally mind-blowing, it is so rejuvenating, and it is sisterhood that happens in the room. So get your ticket, grab your friends, grab your legacy, grab your daughters, and be in that room this year. And we cannot wait to see you and the power that's going to transform through you as the woman and through your legacy. And I think when you don't know, you know, your confidence, your self-worth, you know, you kind of give your body away, and you had mentioned this one, belittle. And people just belittle you, you know, and don't see your value, but they just see that they want to be with you. And I think because something deep within you is longing for that attention or that time or that companionship or that friendship.
It was like, you know, and I think as all of us, well, women, period, but at one point it was, you know, especially in this generation and the internet, and they talking about black love and just love and marriage and stuff. And at some point we were just like, I want to be married. But now it's like, you know what? And with me reverting that person back to their wife, it helps me understand my power.
Correct.
And not my power in a bad way, not my power in a negative way, but my power of, Allison, you're more valuable than, you know, and then I can't belittle myself because he chooses to belittle me.
One thing about sexual healing for the woman in you is that we have to allow each other, particularly as women, to go through their process. You know, and I even want to speak to mothers right now. We can belittle our children because we don't understand our own nature of who we are. You know, so it does my heart good because even allowing you all to go through your process. You was that all over the place hoe at one point. You know what I'm saying? But now that bougie to this or whatever.
I was confined a little.
Yes. In college,
I was confined.
all over the place, And one thing I don't want you all to be is all over the place, not because of a sexual thing, all over the place to let people just take your mind wherever they wanted to go. You know what I mean? Everything comes back to your soul, your mind and your emotions. And if you don't understand who you are and the sense of who they're calling you to be, you will be all over the place. It's like I think it's when the book of James says, tossed to and fro by every wind and doctrine. It's hoes who go to church, to church, to church, to church, to church. Let me eat off this table. Let me get off this table. Let me go to here. Let me go here. Let me go here. You're just all over the place. Sit down. Know who you are and feed off of one table so you can grow. You know what I mean? So you can learn, so you can be who you are and not just jumping to and fro. And that's for everything. Know where you are at this point in your life and be stable. And don't be all over the place. Just trying to go listen to this person, be with that person, listen to this person, go here, go to this conference, go to that conference, go over here, go over here. What are you accomplishing? What are you accomplishing? Everybody's calling for your attention and you're not getting anything. And that's the same analogy it could be for sex, it's for your spiritual life, it's for your emotional state, it's for your mental state, it's for everything.
And I think, even when people are calling, like you say, your attention, and I want to say this for the viewers out there, because you've instilled a lot in us as far as the value of our vagina, self-worth, confidence. And many people can listen to this and be like, well, what kind of mother are you? Your daughter's out there in a hoe, or maybe having multiple partners or things like that. And I want to say first, right? But to be honest, I really want to say this journey of evolving and growing. I mean, you're learning so much about yourself.
I am.
You could tell me to save myself to marriage all day long, but if I didn't make the decisions that I made, if I didn't make the mistakes that I've made, if I didn't endure and put myself in certain things, and I'm not saying that everybody should do it, but I wouldn't know this much about me.
Yes.
I mean, every time you unlock, and this is where I think another woman can't judge another woman, or I would never sleep with a married man, or I would never. You don't know that.
You don't know what you
because there are aspects of you that when someone calls your attention, or when you need to be loved, and I was so judgmental, I would never.
The very thing you say you'll never do, particularly with your nose tooted up in the air, is the very pit you'll fall in.
And to me, I always will still stand 10 toes down that even though I may not make the perfect decisions or the perfect choices, I'm a woman that's healing. I'm a woman that is open to learning about me. I'm a woman that is embracing who I am. And to me, that is a hoe. I'm healing, I'm open, and I'm embracing. And I'm learning every aspect of me. And you can't hold anything over my head. And I'm saying that for anyone out there. Don't let anyone hold that over your head of shame or guilt, because you unlocked and learned something about yourself as a woman that now you could take what you've learned and you could build layers upon that and layers upon that to really become the woman that's sexually healed, a woman that's free, a woman that understands herself. And while someone else is judging you, they're still in bondage, they're still not getting an orgasm, they still don't know who they are, they don't know what they're capable of, and you are taking your power back. And so to me, it doesn't matter the foundation that was laid, and I thank you for the foundation of the self-worth and the confidence, but I just also thank myself for allowing myself to explore, grow, not condemn myself for doing certain things, and just knowing at some point I'm gonna be a been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to get to that point. Been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
You know, you can't change me.
But never forgetting that when my husband comes, I'm gonna be the blessed hoe, I'm gonna be the bougie hoe, I'm gonna be the bold hoe,
and
I'm gonna be the brave hoe, I'm gonna be bending over hoe, I'll be whatever type of hoe you need me to be. A husband that's out there, okay? Because
bow down hoe,
you know, I'm gonna be all of it. Bible hoe, I'm gonna read my Bible and come back, like you said. At the end of the day, it like now I have the freedom that husband is going to get every aspect of me.
That's right.
And I don't feel bad because no one, if I'm really looking back, no one has ever gotten all those aspects of me.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
They may have gotten pieces
They
of
got
me,
little pieces, yeah.
of pieces of when I was developing and growing, but you never got the true Ariel Monique Fuller that's out there.
And that's the beautiful part. I need you all to put in the comment process. You know, even in the body of Christ, we just want you to come and say, ooh, be this. You know what I'm saying? Even God let us go through our process. And this is why Apostle Paul, I firmly believe, wrote in the book of Romans, now there is therefore no condemnation in Christ Jesus. Because when you go through your process and he permits you and he allowed that, but still love you in the midst of it, he don't even want you to condemn yourself because he's not condemning you, you know. And oftentimes we condemn ourselves and kick ourselves because we haven't understood that life is a process. I can look at you, Allison, and see my journey. You know, I could look at you, Ariel, and I see a part of my journey. And I want you all to look at me and say, I see a part of that journey as you're going through your journey. You know what I mean? As you say, you look at back what I was and when I had this, and now it's this. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm steadily going to grow, and I'm steadily going to grow. And I think that's the beautiful part about relationships, particularly between mother and daughters. And so that's why sexual healing for the woman in you is so imperative for not only your life, but for your legacy. Because if you're not growing, your children are not going to grow. You know, daughters are occupancies within our heart and within our mind and with our soul. They're like residents. They grow with us. But you can't expect nobody to do nothing that you aren't doing yourself. Be real with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather be knowing who I am, of what kind of hoe I am. So when somebody calls for my attention, I know how to respond. As opposed to just being that prostitute for free. And when they call me, I just go flying all over the place, and I have never understood who I am, and everybody benefiting from me, and you're gullible. You know, so those are men, boastful, unthankful, disobedient, that lay captive gullible women, in this case, gullible hoes. So there you all have it, you know. Do a self-assessment. Stop being derogative, stop being dismissive, and stop being naive. And embrace who they're calling to get attention. And you can stand up in who you are with dignity, with class, with boldness, brave, and say, you know what? That's not who I am. But when you understand who I am, call me.
Yes, thank you all for watching this episode. We can't wait to see you on the next one, and we just love you all.
Have a good one.